was a recent Mother Jones piece that went and looked at some of the plaintiffs for the Supreme Court case that threatens to bring down Obamacare. This case, King versus Burwell. Of course, this case was brought by a group of conservative lawyers. This whole thing started as a legal theory. So they thought about this idea back in 2010, the American Enterprise Institute, which of course is a right-wing think tank, quote-unquote think tank, air quotes, the Libertarian Competitive Enterprise Institute as well, and basically lots of conservatives that were really, really anti-Obamacare. They couldn't wait to get rid of the health care law. And the only problem is they had to find people with standing. They had to find people to represent the case. They had to recruit plaintiffs. Now, once again, I mentioned standing, right? And that is going to be a very important piece of this. Standing basically means how does this affect you? How did Obamacare negatively affect these plaintiffs? Well, they ended up finding 4 plaintiffs that I don't know if they could really say that they had too much standing, and I'll get into that, but I want to go through these 4 different plaintiffs, one by the name of Brenda Levy, David King, Rose Luck, and Doug Hurst. Now, I want to talk a little bit about these people and where they stand with Obamacare, and you're not going to be too surprised when you hear that they don't have that good of a case. Now, we go into Brenda Levy first. She's one of the first plaintiffs. Now, it's a 64-year-old woman who was described as someone who looks like an older hippie. Okay. And actually, surprisingly, she used to be a member of the Sierra Club, used to read magazines and articles from news places such as Mother Jones. Well, now, how in the hell did she get on this Obamacare suit? Not even she knows. In the article, she says, quote, "I don't know how I got in this case. I haven't done a single thing legally. I'm going to have to ask them how they found me." Huh. So she doesn't know how she got on this anti-Obamacare case. Now, that's really strange. So why would she continue to be involved in this? If she doesn't know how she's literally on the case, which is really strange for a plaintiff. Well, it turns out she's supporting right-wing causes. She was against the integration of gay Boy Scouts. So that immediately turns her over to being sort of on the right-wing side of at least social issues. Now, the more surprising things about this is that when asked or when told that this lawsuit, if they win, it could wipe out health care coverage for millions of people, surprisingly, she was like, "I don't want things to be more difficult for people. I don't like the idea of throwing people off their health insurance." But lady, that's exactly what would happen. According to different experts, over 10,000 people could die prematurely because of losing their health insurance coverage. Not only just losing their insurance coverage, but 10,000 people would die. Millions would lose it. 10,000 of those could die. Well, why would she still be interested in this case then? Well, one thing she said was she wanted to go to Washington to listen to the oral arguments. She's very interested. She said, quote, "It's an adventure. You know, like going to Paris. It's an adventure to watch people possibly get their health care coverage eliminated, even though you personally don't want that to happen." Well, the article goes further into it and really points out how misinformed she is. She thinks that Medicaid would be expanded. Oh, I think Governor McAuliffe wants to expand Medicaid. So everybody who would lose their insurance if Obamacare gets wiped out, don't worry, Medicaid will cover them. See, everybody wins. Except that no, Medicaid, the expansion, part of Obamacare. And the same people looking to knock out Obamacare also hate Medicaid. And like I said, this would personally affect her as well. She faced monthly health care premiums of $1,500. Now, she's pretty close to getting Medicare. So, by the time the case is even decided, she would have moved on to a better health insurance. And it seems like that's exactly what she needs. Monthly health care premiums of $1,500. She's had 2 craniotomies, 2 hip replacements. Quote, I've had some holes drilled in my head. Wow, okay. All right. And she would get cheaper health insurance, but that's really kind of a moot point because she'll be getting Medicare next year anyway. So, where's her standing? We go to the next plaintiff, David King, who was the lead plaintiff, King versus Burwell, David King. So, here's who the case is named after. And he's described in this article as a burly Vietnam vet. When they asked him about the lawsuit, I hope you're sitting for this, he replied, Benghazi. Benghazi. But wait, what does Benghazi have to do with Obamacare? Oh wait, I know. Both are related to Obama. Now, according to his financial filings, he made a projected income of 2014 was $39,000. As far as his standing in the case, he would actually be harmed, and he would actually be helped by Obamacare and harmed if it was taken away. But he doesn't want to do anything with Obamacare. No. I don't care how much money I've saved. It's got Obama in the name, therefore bad. And not only that, he would qualify for exemptions, right? A hardship exemption, meaning he wouldn't get punished at all for not getting health insurance, even though he would qualify for a really good subsidy. But he says, no, I don't want anything to do with Obamacare. It's got Obama in it and Benghazi. As far as other people are concerned, I don't care if millions of Americans lose their health coverage. They're probably not paying for it anyway. Even though you wouldn't be paying much for it anyway. In fact, this October, David King will be eligible for Medicare. So he wouldn't be paying for it either. At least not out of pocket. So there you go. The next one is even more ridiculous and partly sad. And this is Rose Luck. And they were actually unable to get a hold of her at first because she was living in a $200 a week motel. She had about $5,000 in unpaid medical bills in the 1990s. So obviously, she would be one of the candidates that would really be helped out by health insurance. Because you don't rack up that kind of medical bills if you have health insurance. I mean, yeah, you can, but it's a little bit more difficult to do. So there you go. She would be very much helped out by the healthcare law. But of course, she's not interested in it at all. Why? Because Obama's the Antichrist. Her Facebook postings won't even admit to Obama being the president. Quote, oh, hell no, I wouldn't admit he's our president. No. He got his Muslim people to vote for him. And that's how he won. His Muslim people, Antichrist. You know what? It sounds like she needs health care for her brain. Yeah, okay, Antichrist. So, there we go. And she also believes, and posts on her Facebook page, that Obamacare will cost people $77,000 a year. not so much. Kind of sad that she's in such a bad situation, and yet here she is railing against something that could actually help her. But no, Obama, Muslim, Antichrist. Two of these four people have just this insane hatred for the president that is so huge. Just this massive hatred of Obama, of anything related to Obama, that they're literally going against their own interests, turning away from something that would help. Now, the last plaintiff on here, Doug Hurst, had a remodeling company that went bankrupt because of the financial crisis. Okay? At the peak of the financial crisis, they lost their business, which was really sad. And they had a large amount of health insurance, healthcare costs. More than $8,500 out of pocket when it comes to medical expenses from their 2009 tax filings. Now, they also lost one of their children that had a disability. Now, I got to point out that the healthcare law doesn't it doesn't discriminate against pre-existing conditions, which would have helped their daughter and helped them pay for those medical expenses from her. But looking at their Facebook, as they did in this article, she had a fondness for the Tea Party. They both had a fondness for the Tea Party and Senator Ted Cruz, which, of course, we know he championed getting rid of Obamacare. Now, when they tried to contact her for this article, she hung up originally, but then was able to get a hold of him about this whole healthcare expenses, and she says, "I'm quote, I'm very well aware of my situation. You are not aware of extenuating circumstances. I don't have to justify my life, the loss of my child, which included the loss of a business, to anyone. Do you understand?" Yeah, we do understand. You're on a case that would eliminate healthcare coverage for a lot of people like yourself that get into extenuating circumstances. People lose businesses. People get bankrupt due to medical expenses. And here you are, someone who has obviously been through a lot of traumatic experiences, losing a family member and having bills racked up because of this stuff, because of medical expenses. You would be somebody that should understand why this law would help. But no, it comes down to Obama. Antichrist, Benghazi, Obama. We hate the black man in the White House. Get him gone. And this shows just the efficacy of the right-wing lie machine. A lot of these people are either very hateful or ignorant, or both. And it's very, very sad to see. But this is how people vote against their own interests. These people are very useful to the right wing, but luckily, as far as I can see, there's no standing. So I guess when it comes to the court decision, it's clear that I don't think they've ever been really affected negatively by Obamacare. And it shows, all the evidence shows that they would be helped. And there you go, people voting against their own interests. And that right there is really kind of the base of what the Republicans count on.